Greetings, toy heads, and welcome to another episode of Go Figure with me, your host, Eli Williams. And today we're going to have a look at the Hasbro Star Wars The Vintage Collection, A New Hope Darth Vader. As I've said before, it's a little out of my wheelhouse. I don't generally get vintage collection figures, but I happen to be at a Walmart, and I ran across this one and this one. So I thought, okay, well, you know, those will be pretty cool on my little tiny figure shelf. And so here we are. As you can see, we've got the old Kenner style card back on there with the old school Star Wars with the racing stripes around there. Ages 4+. There's that classic picture of Vader that anybody around my age would remember hanging on the pegs at Kmart and other establishments where you could get these fine figures. Kenner logo down there, even though it's Hasbro. Warning, choking hazard, don't put Darth Vader in your mouth. There you can see Vader and all his Vaderiness. On the back here, we've got a picture of said figure and said card back. Multilingual blurb about Darth Vader. Vintage collection, jibbery jabbery legal jargon across the board, ages 0 to 3. You know what that means.
If your child is not born yet, they shouldn't play with these toys.
That's right, you're welcome. Houses of Klingon, Barcode, Disney, Hasbro, and let's get him out of the box onto the pedestal and we'll have ourselves a look. And here we have him on the pedestal. Let's have a look at his accessories. First and foremost, we have his lightsaber. Now this is kind of interesting how they did this. We have this saber, which is a solid piece, but yet we also have the hilt that he comes with that's got a peg in it. I kind of feel like they really need to do this with the Black Series. There's a couple things about this that kind of makes me think Black Series needs to do this. But yeah, we've got the actual hilt with a peg that can go into his belt. And then we have his actual saber. Looks like there's a little notch of plastic on that that's poking out there, and I can see it, and it's making me nuts. I'll file that off. But yeah, really nice attention to detail on this tiny hilt. You got the silvers and the blacks on there with the paint apps, and then you got that red button right up there at the top. Looks really good. Nice translucent red. I feel like it could be a little bit more translucent like the ones in the Black Series, but you know, no complaints here. That looks pretty good. And then he also comes with, again, I don't know why they didn't do this with the Black Series, because we got two sets of hands. We have two grip hands on him by default, and then we got a sort of pointy, choky hand for his right and a fist hand on his left. And that would be really nice in the Black Series, because you forever are all of our Vaders, except for like I think the 40th anniversary Return of the Jedi has just had the two figures. You have the saber hand, and then the other hand sort of doing the left hand doing the sort of grippy, choky hand, and that's it. And it would have been nice to have, you know, like a pointy finger, you know, a fist hand. And then here we have Mr. Vader. And he stands at a little bit taller. He's actually at about four and a quarter inches tall. So obviously he's Darth Vader. He's going to be a little bit taller. Let's take a look at the sculpt. First off, this looks fantastic. Imagine being a kid back in the late 70s and getting this Vader instead of that prone standing Vader with the vinyl cape. Again, the vintage Star Wars figures had their place, and they were awesome and they were fun, but they were not this. They were not this. And this is pretty damn amazing. This just looks so accurate. And I really love the Black Series Vaders too. They do, in the different variations, they do really a good job This is bothering me. This little, hang on a minute. We gotta fix this. This little part right here. It should be covering that. But that head sculpt is great. You got the red lenses. This is obviously the New Hope Vader, episode 4. You got those red lenses. The shininess of the helmet and the armor pieces looks really, really good. We've got a soft goods cape that is really nice. It's a little foldy right now because I just took it out of the package, but I'll have to give that a little steam and loosen it up. But and then we have the skirt cape, or the robe cape, with that looks really good as well. Really nice detail from the glossy black and silvers down to the matte finish. I think that's interesting choice that they did so since this is a smaller 3 3/4 inch scale, they didn't have the cloth of the robe cape coming up here. This is all sculpted on, but I mean, it matches pretty well. I think it looks, I know there's been some complaints on this, but I don't really have a problem with that. The chest panel looks really good. You've got the red and the green instead of blue and red. Red and green on the belt there. Everything is very accurate. Very, very accurate. The gloves have that scalloped look to them that they did originally. It just looks really, really great. Down to we've got those, we've got that leather-esque arms and legs, down to super glossy boots. This just looks fantastic. Especially the top piece here, where the top of the armor, I can't think of what you call that, but that shoulder armor piece going up to the helmet just looks great. Let's take a look at articulation. We've got what appears to be a dumbbell going from the upper torso into the head, giving us full rotation on the head. A little bit of down and a little bit of up. Some tilt. Not a lot there, but it's Darth Vader, and he's got that big Oakland Raiders helmet thing going on. Arms, full rotation on the arms at the shoulders. We do have this right here is a little separate. Well, not really separate, but it's a rubber piece, and it does bend up to get it out of the way. But you can get the arms all the way up to there. We have a single elbow with a swivel down to the wrist, where we have full rotation on the wrist. And is that in and out, or is that up and down? That is up and down on the left, and I'm assuming the same on the right. Yes, why would it not be? We have a no ab crunch area there, but you wouldn't expect there to be with Darth Vader. But you do have a ball joint at the waist for some hula hoop and some waist swivel, so that's good. Legs out to there. And we have a thigh swivel right there, and a single knee with a pivot on the boot, so like a boot swivel. And then down to the feet, where we have detents on the feet and a forward rocker. I'm gonna go ahead and pop off this hand. I want to see how well, yeah, that comes out very nicely. And I want to put the fist hand on there. And then let's get his saber in his hand. There we go. Almost. There we are. But I am also going to put, I'm also going to put his saber, the saber hilt. I'm going to put one on his belt too. Even though he's holding it, I just want to see how that goes on. Now there's a little hole there on the belt. There's a little hole there, and this goes in there. There we go. And then that, you can just hang that down. So get that fist up. There we go. Angry Vader. That's awesome. This is a great Darth Vader figure. No complaints. No complaints. Let's get him off the pedestal. We'll line him up with some other Darth Vader and smaller figures, and we'll see how he scales up. And here we have him with the Hasbro Star Wars The Black Series, Episode 4, A New Hope Vader. The Hasbro Original Trilogy Collection Darth Vader. The Fig Biz Highlander Connor MacLeod figure, and the Playmates Star Trek II The Wrath of Khan Captain Kirk. All in all, I'm absolutely thoroughly pleased with this. I'm giving this a 10 out of 10. This is one of, if not the best 3 3/4 inch Darth Vader that they've ever made. I know there's some people that have some issues with this. I have no issues with this. Other than the fact that, you know, just like the Black Series, I would like to see, you know, a little bit better articulation, but you kind of have to give a pass on the 3 3/4 inch scale because they're dealing with such a smaller framed figure. I would love to see it in the Black Series. I know they can do it. But, yeah, this is great. This is just really great. If I would have had this as a kid, my head would have exploded. Imagine like if all the figures were like this in the old, like back in like '78 when they came out. Imagine that. That we would have just been, we'd still be playing with them. I guess we kind of are, because I don't want to play with them, but they go on the shelf. 10 out of 10 for me. This is fantastic. Hats off to you, Hasbro. You knocked it out of the park with this. It's fantastic. There's nothing else to say. You hit all the marks. It looks great. And that'll do it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Smash that bell so you can get information on all the good things coming out of my channel. You all have yourselves a great week and a great day. I'll see you next time. Until then, don't forget to get your figure on. Take care.